I'm not here. Let me start this off to make fun of this young man. I'm familiar with this man's music. I've listened to his music before. I listened to TDE, which is, if you're not familiar, that's Kendrick Lamar's camp out there in California. Shout out to them. TDE has made some phenomenal artists that have thrown out some phenomenal music. So I don't want to skip past that. Um, if guys don't know what I'm addressing and what I'm talking about, I'm going to get into that in a minute. But I want to start here. Today there was a sex tape leaked, right? And it was by a rapper from TDE named Rashad. Now I've listened to Rashad's music before. I mentioned that. I think a lot of other people have. And for every sake and purpose, the dude's got good music. I can't deny that. Most of the people from that TDE camp, SZA, all of them, they all have good music. Well, this kid today, he was outed in a sex tape. They put out a sex tape of him, and in the sex tape, you can see him in one. I didn't watch the tape, so I won't put that out. First of all, I didn't watch it. Um, for one, two, when I did do some research to see if it was still existent, it had been removed off Twitter, and that's where I want to stay at. See, this tape was leaked on Twitter, and nobody knows whether or not it was Isaiah Rashad or it was somebody else that was maybe one of the men in the video. And yes, you heard me correct, men. In one video, he is getting fellatio from, well, giving fellatio to one man. Then in another video, there's two Latino men, and they appear to both be simultaneously giving him fellatio, or whatever the case may be. And yeah, that's hard to explain. I'm not here for that to bash him. I'm glad that a lot of people online, I've seen some of the responses, and I thought that like people in that community would, and I'm not saying that community, but I thought they would try to bash him or something like that, and it seemed quite opposite. Zaire Rashad is getting a lot of support from not only the hip hop community and other people coming out, but whatever the case may be. This is the funny thing. This man's sex tape was leaked online, and the night before that, nearly had his situation or whatever the case may be with another sex tape. And a lot of people posing the question, well, did Isaiah Rashad, was he the one that leaked the tape, or was it somebody else that leaked the tape? And that's a big question right there. And what were their intentions when they were leaking the tape? That's the whole point. Because like many people have pointed out, there wasn't no new music dropped. There really wasn't any, you know, I don't know if you want to say coming out statement or whatever the case may be. I don't know. I really don't know. And I'm comfortable with sitting here in front of you and telling all you, I don't know. You know, only thing I do know is I said, let me use my mind for a minute. Let me go make the rounds. Let me see what people are saying before I even go live and start talking about this. And I know this is outside the usual parameter I do, but the reason I'm talking about it, because one, I'm a rapper. Two, I'm seeing how a lot of females are taking this story and then making giggles and laughing and everything like that. And a lot of these people are older women. Isaiah Rashad ain't nothing but 30 years old. You understand what I'm saying? And if you really want to be quite honest about it, you know, you got people, women specifically in the culture, that are the first to delve into lesbianism, the LBGT community, etc., etc. I talked about a story beforehand where I think it was maybe 2, 3 years ago. The LBGT community had one of their World Pride parades. It's like one of the biggest ones there is, right in New York City. And even though I didn't go to it, you couldn't avoid it because it spanned for blocks. It was one of the hugest, you know, World Pride or whatever, whatever. And I have nothing against that community whatsoever. You know, like do what you feel. But when I was out there, one of the main things that stuck out to me was there was a lot of women of color, both black and Latin out there, and they were waving the flag. They were supporting, you know, gay rights and everything like that. I saw more ferocity in them taking up for that than I saw them on courses about their own culture. These were women. You understand? Now you turn around and hear women making fun of Shai Rashad and trying to pin a narrative that they got with it. Oh, see, I told you all them rappers was gay. See, I told you all them Negroes was gay. It's been two different narratives spin, but it's in those two parameters. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, all right, feel how you want to, feel how you must. But we talking about somebody that had their sex tape leaked online. Now, had this been a woman and this would have happened to her, I know the recourse would have been totally different. And y'all know that just as well as I know that. The recourse would have been different. The course would have been different. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I'm not here to judge Isaiah Rashad on his kinky sexuality or whatever the case may be. That's not my job to do. I'm not here to downplay this man. I'm not here to give you the giggles or whatever, whatever. But whenever I see artists, if y'all have not noticed, I'm a musical artist. I come from the music industry. So I have to speak on it because I know people will take stories and spin them and flip them just for views. They won't break down the subject. They won't talk about the subject. They won't discuss the subject. They'll give their momentary view of what they think is going on or whatever and spin it however they want to for views. And I'm not here to do that. No, 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 no. Isaiah Rashad, just like many of the women that are in the LBGT community that run around and pander to whatever group or whatever moment they do, I don't think you have any place whatsoever trying to point out this man on your vlogs. Everybody's got a different way of carrying it and carrying the story, whatever, whatever. Either way, I don't care. You know, if that's what you into, that's what you into, homie. You know, I don't think you should be shamed. I don't think that you should, feel like you need to get yourself up out of here or something like that. Because, a lot of people based on stuff like this can commit suicide. A lot of people based on stories like this and things like this happen, excuse me, more than worse. Plus, when you add the pressure on the bloggers doing blogs, you know what I'm saying, talking down upon this man because of his sexual orientation or whatever the case may be, you don't know where that might lead this man. That might lead this man to commit suicide. That might lead this man to go over the edge. Now, here's some things you might not have known about Isaiah Rashad. He's taken a hiatus of almost 5 years off the music business because he was, it's common story. He started getting papers, here come the drugs, people using him around him for money. You understand? And he took a hiatus. Evidently, a lot of this stuff that sparked up and happened during that time he was taking that hiatus. So it could have been an influence of drugs. It could have been anything. And I know a lot of people gonna look at me and say, "Oh, how you taking up for the gay dude?" Da 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 da. I'm taking up for a fellow artist that was done wrong. Nobody should have their sex tape leaked online. Nobody, male or female, whatever your sexual orientation is, you should not have that. And I read some of the responses from some of the people that actually had their own opinion about the sex tape being leaked. You understand what I'm saying? And I got to say this, right? I commend a lot of y'all because y'all see the same thing that I see, how social media and black YouTubers, Twitter, and a couple other black and Latin different sites as well are using it to attack their own people. You understand what I'm saying? You put this veracity in attacking Isaiah Rashad, but then took this the same veracity and attacked Joe Rogan or the people over there and bothering India Ari on her page. Nobody took the ferocity to do that. None of these ladies, you understand what I'm saying, that had so much to say about Isaiah Rashad and see, I told you all them that them niggas is gay and blah 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 blah. Listen, man, I don't care what nobody say. I ain't never seen more, if you want to say gay in the sense, than with women of color. They're able to women are given the right to go date a woman for 6 or 7 months, a year, 2 years, years, whatever the case may be, have a kid, have some kids, and be able to dip back out of that and don't get any scrutiny for it. You understand what I'm saying? So I would be a hypocrite. All these women are hypocrites that are doing these laws about this man and talking all wayward and crazy about this dude. You look like a hypocrite if you have a girlfriend like that, if you were at the World Pride Parade throwing the flag. Some women have this mentality that it's only okay, I guess, for light-skinned people or white people to be homosexuals, but if you're black or Latino, you cannot. So I'm not gonna sit here and I'm not gonna do a crash course and try to beat down Isaiah Rashad. I'm on the side of many other vloggers or whatever, especially when so many people have now become accustomed to Mr. Old Town Road himself and the litany of different things he's done on stage and off stage. For crying out loud, this man was walking around like he was pregnant, Mr. Old Town Road. I ain't gonna say his name in here, that just gives him promo. But y'all know who I'm talking about, Mr. Old Town Road. Hey girl, you know what I mean? I grew up in the New York City tri-state area. I've been seeing gay people in Connecticut, Jersey, New York all my life. I know some gay people that are friends of mine that I've known forever, that I'm not going to change my relationship and being friends with them just because of what somebody thinks. You understand what I'm saying? And my message to women of color that are making fun of Isaiah Rashad, you support on one hand Mr. Old Town Road, and you say, hey, he's the best next thing to whatever, whatever, right? He has a right to do what he wants to. And as long as he does it in front of us, he'll be accepted. That's the problem. None of these artists have a right to you or have an obligation to you to tell you what their sexual orientation is, what their personal lives are, etc., etc. No more than anybody has a right to do that with you guys. You understand what I'm saying? In your personal life, nobody has the right to look up and then establish what they wanted with a narrative and then put it and print it online to embarrass you or edge you on to maybe do something that you wouldn't do. Like I said, a lot of people are not taking into context that Isaiah Rashad took a 5-year hiatus from music because he had alcohol, excuse me, not alcohol, but substance problems, etc., etc. You know what I mean? He was sleeping on friend's couch for a moment. You know what I'm saying? This is a person that's from TDE. This is Kendrick Lamar's camp. This is one of their artists. Now, I know a lot of y'all might not heard of Isaiah Rashad. A lot of y'all don't know who he is. A lot of y'all may not be able to understand. You know what I mean? I get it. Trust me, I get it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not here to, hold the flag for anybody in this equation. What I'm just simply saying is, what you guys I don't think you're getting is this is how much in debt and how much, how can I say it? This is how much emphasis that your own people have in embarrassing you. You understand what I'm saying? For gain. They made us say, when you talk about sacrifices and all that stuff and all that jibber jabber that you guys talk about, that's what this is. This is a sacrifice. I'm going to sacrifice him and his notoriety and his star. I'm going to sacrifice him in front of the masses. And once I sacrifice him in front of the masses, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up the whole from that. You understand what I'm saying? Meaning clout, meaning people following me now, whether it be momentarily or whatever the case may be. These people think that they get some fame out of this just by leaking this, but they're not leaking information like India Arie did with Joe Rogan. They're not leaking certain videos, you know what I'm saying, maybe exposing a senator or something like that. No, they're exposing rappers. They're trying to expose people. Find me a sex tape with what's that guy's name? Find me a sex tape with Nancy Pelosi. You know what I'm saying? Find me a sex tape with Mitch McConnell. Find me a sex tape with one of those guys and all the reckless things that we know they've been doing since the eon of the first president. You understand what I'm saying? From popular demand, a lot of people say that George Washington had syphilis from screwing around with his slaves, lifelong. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying here is, if you're going to dig and pry and expose videos or whatever, do it as something worthwhile. Expose something about Joe Rogan. Expose something about somebody of prominence in the culture that you say is oppressing you. Isaiah Rashad is not oppressing you. You understand what I'm saying? And you looked at him and you preyed on him, because that's what it is. They preyed on him and they preyed on his vulnerability being in that situation, being in those clips, and they tried to use it against him. Did it work? No. But this is one of the few times it didn't work. Usually it does work. And to a hint, in a sense, yeah, it kind of did work because it got everybody talking. You understand what I'm saying? That is the lowest form of a human being you could possibly get, to sit there and leak a sex tape of a man, regardless of his sexual orientation, whatever. You still leaked this man's private moments. You understand what I'm saying? And in some states, that holds a legal responsibility. I hope you know that, the person that leaked the tape. It holds a legal responsibility. You understand? Which you can see up to 15, 20 years, depending on the statutes in your state and city. So I'm just saying to you, whether it's a man, whether it's a woman, I'm not talking about Nelly's situation where he accidentally leaked it and then turned around and deleted it. Nelly has no reason to leak a sex tape at this point. Who's not going to believe that Nelly wasn't getting with Jay? You know what I'm saying? Who? You know? But in the case of this, and I say of Rashad, I feel different. I feel like a lot of the other commenters said and how they felt when they said, hey, listen, this is a shame that his tape got leaked like this. What did they stand to gain? Nothing. They stand it to gain nothing. but a moment in the black Twitter sphere. I think, and honestly and truthfully, I'm on Twitter, and I have been on it in a long, long time. But let me tell you this: Twitter and I would say Facebook are some of two of the most vicious vehicles you can find. Because even with YouTube, you get like a filter. You understand? You can't just get on here and be wild. But Facebook, and especially Twitter. Twitter has porn on it, period. Until you get caught, it could be on there for 3, 4, 5 years. You have porn actresses, porn directors. You have the latest OnlyFans girl plugging her page or whatever. Only $9.99 a month. You know what I mean? And she'll be butt naked like, hey, you know what I mean? It's wild that these two specific, and I always say it, Facebook, Twitter, and there's like 3 or 4 other ones, but Facebook and Twitter, they allowed this tape to circulate until people were talking about it so much in a preponderance that finally they said, okay, let's take it down and let's take down any copies we could find. But by that time, the damage was done. It was already out there, this tape. Now, there's 2 separate tapes. In one tape, you have him, and he's giving fellatio to another man, okay? Then there's another tape where it's 2 Latino men, and they're giving fellatio to him. Again, I ain't watched the tape. The tape don't exist no more. It's been removed. You understand what I'm saying? And that's not the reason I haven't watched the tape. I wasn't watching it anyway. I'll take your word for it. I wasn't watching it anyway. You know what I mean? But regardless of what I think, this man still has a right to privacy, and privacy is being violated, not by the entities that you say are, against you, not because of the entities that you say are oppressing you or whatever. This is your own people doing this. And I asked the question again: how come you didn't leak any white stars? How come you didn't leak any white senators? How come you didn't leak any white congressmen? How come you didn't leak any mayors, governors, whatever the case may be? That's the sex tape we need to see. That right there could hold some leverage. You understand? Imagine if somebody had a sex tape of Joe Biden right now from the past 4 or 5 years ago doing the exact same thing. How far do you think that would expand out in the stratosphere? You understand what I'm saying here? So when you're attacking your own, regardless of what this man's sexual orientation is, regardless of whatever, you're leaving one big thing out of the equation, which is this: this man was attacked. And he was attacked in the preponderance of, well, a part of his personal life that I just honestly and truthfully can't see anybody benefiting out of. You understand what I'm saying? First of all, most guys don't want to see that. You know what I mean? 2, the person who leaked the information is anonymous, obviously. You don't know their name. You don't know where they're at. So I'm trying to see, what did they stand to gain? And maybe they tried to shake him down before this. We never even asked that question. Maybe they tried to shake him down and said, listen, if you don't give up this amount of bread, we're going to put the tape out there. Then there's the other equation, which could be this: maybe he did put it out himself. Maybe he did put it out himself. Not only put it out himself, you know what I'm saying? He put it out with anticipation that somebody would try him. So he said, you know what? I'll put it out before everybody else does. That's a possibility. It's a variable in the equation. I'll give you that. I don't know if that's what he did or not, but I will say this, and I'll end it at this, because I don't want to talk too much about this. You do not have the right to leak people's personal information. You do not have the right to leak whatever this man's sexual orientation is and wherever it have it be, whether he was in 2 separate videos. And like I said in the video, one, he's giving fellatio to a man, and the second one, 2 men are giving fellatio to him. Regardless of the fact that how you feel about the LBGT community or whatever, the premise still remains the same. Whether he had been in a heterosexual tape and it was a woman, that tape still does not deserve to be leaked. So there's a point of like, how much of a voyeur, weirdo, narcissist, like goofball do you have to be to go that low? That's all I'm asking. Hello, Davin, just tuning in. I hope it's all well. What's going on, Mandelo? Tú sabes, siempre la sabes. Mandelo, modelo negro, esto es mío, tú sabes. El modelo blanco, ese está bueno, tú sabes. Yo quiero un negro, siempre un negro para la cerveza. Buenos días, buenas noches. The point I'm getting at is, man, every time you sit back and you support people that make moves like this, every time you sit back and giggle and laugh or whatever, puts you more at risk to be the next one. You understand what I'm saying? And regardless if it's a sex tape, your personal information or whatever, I'm so glad that so many people came out. I saw millennials, I saw Generation X. Sí, sí, wepa, tú sabes, gente, salud. It's like you can't sit back and ask for all this respect online like so many people do, and then turn around and do stuff like this for clicks. This is Tasha K type stuff. You understand what I'm saying? And it will be addressed. And when they find out who leaked that tape, I guarantee you somebody's gonna see their day in court. So Isaiah Rashad, I just want to say to you, I want to say to any female vlogger that's out there that's talking about him with the giggles or whatever, I'm sure there'll be certain ones like Cynthia G and the regular batch. You understand? They'll give their twist on it, try to pontificate why this happened. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why it happened. I don't even care why it happened. In this day and time, I've seen worse things going on. And like I said, if you really want to be honest about it, I've never seen in the past 5 years, I've never seen such an influx of, in my personal opinion, I think there's more lesbians than there is gay men. I tend to see more lesbians in society than gay men. And most of the time, a lot of the time, when I see these lesbian couples, it's usually two black women or two Latin women or vice versa, a Latin woman and a black woman or a black woman and a Latin woman. One's playing the male, one's playing the female role, whatever, whatever. And the big thing about it is, even though they're lesbians, their personalities don't change. So the same way they would be argumentative with a man is the same way they're argumentative with another woman. That's the thing that surprised me. You argue with men and you have the fumble. You argue and get with a woman and have the same fumble. So maybe it's you. You understand what I'm saying? But I just think you got to be a lowball, dirty person to this kid 30 years old, man. You understand what I'm saying? He may look back on his life years from now and be like, yo, what the hell was I thinking? You know, I think a lot of us going to be looking back on these live broadcasts we do and the stuff that we looked at and then be in a moment, because a lot of y'all are just maturing. I get it. And you're going to get to the point where you're going to be like, yo, you know what? What was I thinking that night? Why was I watching that? You understand what I'm saying? Nobody deserves to have any of their personal information leaked online for follies and giggles and for views and clicks. You understand? Especially when you ain't doing the same thing to a senator, you ain't doing the same thing to somebody that's a person of opulence or whatever. If you ain't taking the same veracity to leak those tapes and find those tapes, and trust me, there's dirt out there. You know how many people have leaked senators and all that stuff? Joe Epstein. The reason he got exposed is because somebody leaked the information. You get where I'm going here? You know what I'm saying? So maybe you should stop trying to be a barracuda and a nasty person to your own and start really illustrating to people that, yo, if you're going to be a nasty, cantankerous vlogger, be nasty and cantankerous and vengeful against the right people, not your own. I'll say it one more time. And maybe this will make it clear, because I try to be as clear as I can. Sometimes I just can't find the words. If you are taking 10 to 15 minutes out of your day to go against your own, you understand what I'm saying? And when I say your own, I mean Black and Latino specifically, and yes, poor whites too. But I always highlight Black and Latino. You know, that's just for obvious reasons. But it's sad that all this veracity and all this energy goes into downtrodden and trying to eradicate their own online. I got people that are trying to take my page down because they don't like the way I talk or like the way I say something, or that I won't let a woman talk to me any old kind of way. I'm sorry, I wasn't raised like that. I was raised with a father. You understand what I'm saying? A very proud father too. So you're not going to talk to me like that. You understand? I've been used to being the guy for years that was always paying all the bills, always, you know what I'm saying? So you're not going to talk to me like that. But you, regardless of the women that I've been with and everything like that or whatever, none of those women, none of them have ever tried to put out some information about me, try to leak something online about me. I had one person attack me here on YouTube personally. You know what I mean? I have two other people that are personally attacking my page, but I don't complain too much about it. I don't even speak on them because then they won. You know what I'm saying? And like I said before, I know who they are. I just find it funny. You know what I'm saying? I just always find it funny. I'm like, you flagging my page? You see what I'm saying? but they're not going over to Joe Rogan's page flagging his page. They're not going over to some neo-Nazi or some far right-winger group flagging their page or talking in the comments or whatever. I do all that all the time. I put up screenshots of me doing it or whatever. So the only thing I'm saying to you is take that same pitted energy that you got against your own because you look at them as a weak target, because that's really what it boiled down to. You don't have the balls and the guts to do it with somebody else because you think it's going to be some ramifications. Right? Right. So you got to watch people like that because a lot of these dudes, they be scared of ramifications and they know that certain ramifications, the tones come with certain things. So what they do is they sit back and they try to, try to pontificate and try to make this look like they're an elk above the other person. And I think that's what went into leaking this boy's sex tape, regardless of his sexuality. Like I said, that's homie, that's you. That's what you choose to do, then that's whatever. But I gotta say that on the fact that we sit around and we praise, okay? We didn't praise. I seen stars. This including you too, Puff. All right, this including you too if you're watching. You too. And everybody put you under scrutiny for backing him for what he did on that stage. You understand what I'm saying? I think it was at the BET Awards. You were the first person that was sending out a tweet. All right. Oh, you so brave. Man, you ain't brave. You ain't brave. You want to tell you brave? Listen, I remember in this in the tri-state period when they used to beat up folks like that. You understand what I'm saying? Like literally they used to jump them and beat them up. Then some of them started getting smart, bringing out razor blades with them, whatever the case may be, or whatever, to defend themselves. And a lot of times I heard of dudes, I ain't never seen it. I heard of dudes trying to fight them gay folks and get whooped. You know what I mean? Get whooped. And you don't want to get whooped by one of them and then got to go back and be like, yo, excuses. Yo, my foot slipped, son. Yo, the shoes I had. You don't want to be the guy telling that story. You understand what I'm saying? So don't think that they punks, and they won't fight you back or whatever, because they will, But it's just, man, we got to stop this. And this is what I've been talking about for the past couple of days. And I know I get lived up and turned up on here sometimes, but I've been told I'm not trying to sit around a campfire with everybody because everybody ain't worth sitting around a campfire with. Only thing I'm saying is, just like these people came to the defense of Isaiah Rashad when the sex tape was leaked or whatever, I'm glad that those people had the common sense to distinguish between somebody trying to bash somebody and intentionally trying to destroy them by leaking the tape, because that was their expectation. They thought they were going to destroy them. They was not prepared for people to actually turn around and be like, this is stupid and we're defending this guy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry, I'm sitting on the side of the fence that says I'm sticking up for this dude right now. Not because of what's the contents of the video or what he did, but pure simply, this was this man's privacy, and Black Twitter made sure that it got out there. And it was a lot of them that made fun of it. I saw maybe 5 or 6 different reactions from a lot of publications, and I looked at the comment section. I saw so many women saying whatever they were saying. What's going on, Marquise Farmer? I saw so many people saying what they were saying, but what this blew my mind. I'm going to pages where they're celebrating 2 women getting married, like Niecy Nash, right? She came out of nowhere and said, now I got a wife, which was a film director. I forgot what her name is. But she said, I got a wife now. Niecy Nash, prior to that, had been married for a couple years. You understand what I'm saying? We had no idea. She just hit us out the blue. And everybody was accepting of that. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody talked about Niecy Nash because we love Niecy Nash. I remember when this girl, Serena, turned around and said, yo, I'm going to marry the dude from Reddit and he makes 10 times less money than me. And I got offers from Common and I got offers from Drake. Nobody was upset. Nobody did a whole diatribe about it. Nobody did a whole video. Nobody leaked nothing. I don't remember any of that going on. So what I'm just simply saying is the narrative and the spin that a lot of Black women and Latin women that I've seen doing vlogging tonight that are talking about this situation, you need to take a look at yourself for some of the stuff that you not only represented in the past, but currently. A lot of this narrative about all these rappers are gay. I was in the music business for 17 years. I can't think of one dude I met that approached me, asked me if I wanted something, asked me if I could do something. I don't remember one person. Now, it might have been the era that I started in. I started in early 2000, 99 going into 2000, up into 2016. So it might have been that. But ain't nobody I'm talking about my whole team. Shout out Rome, Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, you know what I mean? We feel how we want to feel about each other, but y'all better not bother them. Um, None of my dudes got down like that. None of them. And it was times when we had to stay in like hotel rooms with each other and everything else. It was at least two dudes in the hotel room. Like Papa was spending, but he wasn't spending like that. It never happened. I never remember one party I was at, whether it's Fountain Blue, King of Diamonds, you name it. Been in all of them. Nobody ever approached me like that. So what I'm saying is, these guys are not only younger, but the way they've grown up and the way they've circulated their sexuality and what's accepted and what not of them may not have been accepted at the time that I was. Now, if I'm saying it was guys hiding around doing it or whatever, maybe so. I don't know. But I'm saying outwardly, I have never seen, ever been approached, ever offered, we call it initiations. That was around for 17 years. Now, if you ask me if this happens at higher tiers, I'm talking about outside the scope of Puff. Let's say like somebody like God, I forgot how to say his name just a minute ago. It's gonna come to me. Clive Davis's circles, stuff like that. Yeah, it's a possibility. You understand what I'm saying? It's even a possibility under that. I heard people mutter the name of Richard Pryor, you know, and the things he was involved in. You know what I'm saying? Paul Mooney. I see a lot of people pointing a lot of names. But stop pointing at names and stop trying to put people out there if your side of the fence ain't clean itself. And that's what I got a problem with. There's a lot of women out here that bash this boy and try to use it as a narrative from a prior narrative that they had. All men of color are homosexual. I hope y'all following what I'm saying. All men of color are homosexual. All men of color. That's what they're taking this story and trying to correlate it with. And so they can have a narrative to pounce on. And then the 80,000 regular followers or whatever that come to their live will be on there and they'd be like, I told you, girl. Matter of fact, here go $100. You was right. You was right. And the girls that are doing that, y'all should be ashamed of yourself, because them people that are putting out that material are disgruntled women, mad women, unmarried women, undateable women, unmanageable women. And they're that way, whether it's a man or a woman that they're dating, because I've seen it. And I've seen a woman go from dating men, having kids by men, to now subjecting herself to the homosexual lifestyle. Once she gets over there, she starts doing that. The same problem she had with a man, she now has with a woman. And many of y'all have seen this in public. I've seen lesbian couples fight it out. I've seen it in Times Square. I've seen it in Jersey. I've seen it here in my home in Connecticut. You understand what I'm saying? I've seen it with my own two eyes, where these girls will fight like they man and woman. They have the same passive ways. They have the same complaints within the relationship or whatever. If you look at the LBGT community, most of the people that support that are not the men, it's the women. So how can you be gay or LBGT, whatever you want to call it, and then on the same time, when you see one of your fellow brethren, because this is what he would be at this point, one of your fellow brethren, I guess if it was one tape, this was two tapes, giving and receiving. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, Rashad, I can't help you, but I'm trying to help you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're a fellow artist. You know, I can't help you on that. But what I can help you on is the fact of hypocrisy. This is a lot of things that women of color are doing online is hypocritical. You understand what I'm saying? Sweetheart, just because you've been dating drug dealers, losers, dudes with no future, no responsibility, and not ever looking back and saying, this is reflective. If I get these results because it's reflective of where I live, the people I grew up around, the people I'm immediately around every day, they never take that into consideration. For example, if you live in, no disrespect to Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, but if you live in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, right? It's probably a ratio of probably 70. I'm not even going to say 70. Let's say 60-40. 60% of the people over there into something, and the other 40% work and do normal things. You understand what I'm saying? So we're looking at ratios. You dig what I mean? So it's like, how can you judge somebody based off the same behavior that a lot of you ladies participate in, and then have the nerve and the audacity to have a vlog about it, and your only defense in the vlog is, well, he should have told us. Who are you? I don't know where people get this, because that's what it's called, voyeur mentality. You want to watch people. You want to watch people have sex. You want to watch people fall under. That seems to be the number one driving narrative. I want to see them go down, especially with me. They want to see me go down. I just came back up. Y'all want to see me go down? I got you. You know what I mean? Good luck. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll shut everything down for that happen. I'm talented. I'm different than a lot of other people. I actually got talent. You understand what I'm saying? I can write songs, I can write books, I can do a lot of things. So I don't need, and I was trained for it. I went to school for it. I worked in the business for it. You understand? I'm not like the average YouTuber that just have to pick up the camera. I can take this whole show and go somewhere else, and I'll get the same results, if not better. So you don't have to sell your soul, because that's what you're doing. You're making a sacrifice. You made a sacrifice out of Isaiah Rashad today. You tried to sacrifice him for the greater God gander of yourself. I'll say it again. This is a sacrifice. So the same thing you're talking about the people in the industry doing, you're being the number one conduits for it. For it. You're doing the same exact thing. So this person, whether they were and like I said, there's two different ways we can look at this. We can look and say Isaiah Rashad, he leaked the tape himself. We can look at it and say Isaiah Rashad was unbeknownst of the tape being leaked, and therefore it's unfair. Either way, it's two different outcomes to that. Now, if he leaked the tape himself, this erase his whole life. Okay? I'm going to hit delete on it myself, all right? Please believe that. But if he didn't and somebody leaked it, which everybody keeps pointing to that, I'm just saying, maybe we need to take a step back and look how much we're digging in people's business. When young Dolph died, people were giving out addresses and everything else or whatever. Do you know how many missing kids have been out here for years, and people can't find them, missing black kids or whatever? These are some of the same people that were complaining on, what's that white girl's name, Gabby something, when she was missing, Gabby Petito or whatever. They were complaining about that. I said, well, if you were to put the same energy that you put into not only report about Gabby Petito, but if you were to put the same energy that you put in trying to figure out who young Dolph murderer was, I'm not saying it like that either. Not like people shouldn't have helped with that. Yes, you absolutely should. But I want you to understand what I'm saying. If you were to put that same energy into finding out who some of these normal people are, there are thousands of Black and Latinos, especially in California, Chicago, Florida. Put that same energy in that Scooby-Doo that you got, that inner Scooby-Doo that you got, and put it into following up on those cases now. Sam Cooke said we still support Isaiah. I support him too. That's what I'm sitting here saying. And the majority of people still support him. That's the whole point. But take some of that energy, like I said, and put it into finding some missing kids, missing girls. There are thousands of young Black and Latin girls across this country that are missing, have been missing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So when I get up here and lately, like I said, I was going to switch it up for 2022. I couldn't be on here just talking about donations and who donates to me or whatever. It's going to come. You know what I'm saying? If you like to donate, it's $STRINGERBELL 80. Is this your first time here? My name is Davin Lewis. I'm a blogger. I do this every day in one form or fashion. In other words, updates, whether it's uploads or be going live like I am here. Lately, I've just been uploading, but I'm going to be going back to doing live, as y'all can tell. I'm just really disturbed by how many women of color went in on Isaiah Rashad to prove their narrative, their so-called narrative, in which you really look like it's a bunch of teenage girls, hypocrite girls at that. A lot of these girls, especially a lot of them online, have admitted that they've been in gay relationships and all kinds of stuff or whatever. So I don't understand how it is that the women, they get to dip off and do all this sexual exploration, and they don't get held at guilt point for it. You understand? You've never heard a woman say, like with the brat, you never heard nobody say, yo, how come the brat didn't tell us? Oh my God, the brat, has a brat slowed up? And those stick to the brat praise. You understand what I'm saying? But do you get what I'm saying here? The brat came out and said she was gay and had a whole girlfriend, had a whole video of her buying her a Bentley or whatever. Nobody said nothing. Nothing. They didn't shame the brat. They didn't talk against the brat. We've been knowing for years there was a possibility the brat like a side of carpet. You know what I'm saying? Well, everybody been doing. Let's say I'm gonna beat me to it. We all do the brat like a side of carpet with her dinner. You know what I'm saying? And we still love the brat. You dig what I mean? We still love the brat. I don't have no problem with the brat. I still listen to the brat's music coming from the 303030, whatever the hell she said. That's what, you know what I'm saying? 60, what she said, the 6060, what? I forgot how she said it. I gave out Miami's our area code 305. Shout out to Miami, man. Always in my heart. I don't know, man. There's a lot of hypocrisy going on. There's a lot of women online that are attacking men on a regular basis and feeling cool about it and aiding on to white supremacy at the same time. And like I said, a lot of you ladies better start remembering 5 years passed, 3 years even passed, or whatever. You start getting certain problems and you're like, where are my brothers? Well, you spent about the past, I don't know, 5, 6 years online talking about how you hated these guys. I know y'all think I'm going a different direction, but it's all about this attacking people that look like you, man. I don't understand that. And if you guys got that much hate for yourself and you're willing to sacrifice, because that's what it looks like to me. It looks like a lot of you are willing to sacrifice your fellow brother for your own come up. And that I ain't with. I ain't with. And I'll speak against it at time after time. I don't care how many views I use. I don't care how many people I lose or whatever, whatever. One, I'm too old not to speak about that. Two, I'm too seasoned in the business to talk about that. I had to sit down with somebody that's actually, I ain't gonna say your name, and I know you watching too, but I had to sit down with somebody at the business this not too maybe a week ago. I always talk to everybody that's still in the music industry. A lot of them have been my friends for almost 2 decades. What I'm gonna do? You ain't around no more, so we ain't talking. No, I'm still gonna talk to you. I get advice from these guys, what I should do, shouldn't do. That's why somebody told me, hey, you got to stop cursing. All right, so I stopped cursing. I slowed it down anyway, right? Yeah. I don't curse as much anymore, right, guys? But I slowed down the cursing. Then somebody told me, hey, listen, every situation that you get that's maybe violent or something like that, don't record it necessarily unless you think you're in danger. And even if you do, just keep it and put it on private. So I've learned to do that. You know, I've learned how to change a lot of things about me as getting better and coming out of the situation that I was in, which I also had people on the Black ecosphere and the Latin ecosphere of YouTube say some of the most horrendous things to me that have never been said in your life. I've had all kinds of threats, people try to put me down, whatever, whatever. And I said, well, how come you don't put that same energy into somebody of color? Yeah, I mean, excuse me, somebody other than a person of color, and they have no reason for it. You understand what I'm saying? They have no reasoning. They have no excuse for it. They, in most situations, don't care because you, to them, are a potential sacrifice. So the only thing I'm saying to you is, if we're gonna talk about all this things that y'all think happen in the music business, which a lot of it is really, a lot of it is put out there for satire. Because some of the things I've heard, I'm like, who told you that? I said, let me guess. Some vlogger, some star told some vlogger or whatever, and he knew that the vlogger was circulated around because he's a gossip hound. So let me show you how this works, right? So some of the dudes that y'all interviewing, you know, and I know this for a personal fact because a lot of y'all are doing vlogs and y'all think y'all got the top story, right? And so y'all get an older rapper or y'all get a rapper that maybe not be popping as well, whatever, but we all one circle. You understand what I'm saying? We all one circle. And either you in that circle or you're the outskirts of that circle, but you're close. So when you interview one of these artists on your vlog or whatever, whatever, they're not going to tell you the truth. A lot of them are there for their own narcissist personal reasons, promoting, want to be seen or whatever. Come on, like anybody that's an artist and you doing interviews, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's stop the capping. All right. I said it. I said it. All right. And I'm not exposing you because it's only pertain to everybody. But those that do this, you know what I'm talking about because I've seen you do it. You get in an interview and you get in there and you give deliberate breadcrumbs to nothing. And these guys don't pick up on it because they've never been in the music industry. They're on the outside looking in. So they take what you say for base value. So I've seen people go on there and they be like, yeah, I've been in rooms with sacrifices and all that. How, Sway? You wasn't even in around the circle around us at Bad Boy. And I'm sorry, if you wasn't around Bad Boy, Def Jam, Rough Riders, or whatever, those were the elite of the elites, okay? No hands down whatsoever. All right, those were the elite of the elite circles to be around. So if you wasn't around those circles and you didn't see none of that there, then there's a fine chance that you're tuning up something because you know that's what people want to hear. But yet still the same people that want to hear it are willing to do the same thing they accuse people of at the drop of a dime, which is a sacrifice. Does that make sense now? I'm trying to slow it down as much as I can. The same people that speak against sacrifices and point fingers and all that are willing to do the same sacrifice to you at the drop of a dime right here. Sam Cooke said, yeah, I'm telling you, every time. I can't make this up. So since y'all into sacrificing and such, let me make it apparent to you that I think that what we need to do is turn our attention to how we can sacrifice you. You didn't think of that, did you? See, I won't toot my own horn, but my man the other day, he said, yo, man, the way your mind think is incredible. And I said, thank you. And I that ain't the first time I heard it. My nickname is Professional. You got to attack the people that are attacking, meaning that the person, as soon as we find out who dropped this Isaiah Rashad sex tape or whatever, we need to attack them. We need to be daily at their page and any new page they could create, because what they're going to do is they're going to try to create a new identity. That's all right. Somebody around in that circle is going to point you out sooner or later. And I say we harass that person, find out information about them, and leak it. Fair trade, right? Fair trade. We leak something personal about you. And I say anybody that does this type of behavior from now on, we should oust them. Y'all talk about ousting people all the time, separating yourself from people all the time, or whatever. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. These are slaves. These are slaves. These are the new slaves. And slaves ain't got no stomach for a fight. You understand what I'm saying? Please believe that. Even on the days of the plantation, it was the same mentality. The slaves would sit back and they would sit in the quarters. This is a true story. They would sit back in the quarters and they would talk about revolting. They would talk about rising up against master, whatever. And in the midst of all of them, it would only be about 15 of them that would really be about it and do it. If you don't believe it, remember that J. Cole video? Hollywood Code. What is that name of that song? Get Off My D, right? Do you remember, if you ever seen the video, the illustration in the video? Master had dropped the keys. He stepped on the keys and he moved them back. But everybody, the field dudes, they all thought he was a coon. They all thought the whole time J. Cole's planning to escape for everybody. He rushes over after he gets the keys, goes get the guns or whatever, takes it over to the slave quarters this is in the video, takes it over to the slave quarters and gives the other slaves guns. And he's like, oh, all of a sudden his friends, he's like, yo, chill. I'm doing this for us. You understand what I'm saying? After that, if you've seen the video before or whatever, you know how it goes. But Get Off My D. Kendrick Lamar, I said Kendrick Lamar. Y'all know who I'm talking about. J. Cole. His video. Check that video out. I might even link it in here in the description box just in case y'all never seen that video before. That's the mentality in 2022. These are people that are slaves. They ain't got no stomach for a fight. Y'all please hit that like button when y'all come in here. I need my likes. Please hit that like button. These are people that are slaves. You understand what I'm saying? And just like Kanye predicted, whether you like him or not, he did a whole song about it. He called them new slaves. They're slaves to clothing. They're slaves to money. They're slaves to clout. They're slaves to their own quote unquote brand. And I just want to say one thing about that brand bullshit before I leave. You got a lot of people out here talking about they a brand or whatever. You ain't no brand, okay? You a personality, okay? You're not a brand. A brand is usually developed in two things, okay? One of those is vertical integration. You don't know the definition of it, look it up. The other one would be synergy. That's what brands do, okay? You a personality that utilizes YouTube, just like I am. I'm a personality that utilizes a free account on YouTube, and I take advantage of that YouTube account in the best way possible I can to monetize it, just like any other YouTuber, okay? You are not a brand, meaning that you cannot be acquired, you cannot be acquisition, you can be contractually hired. You understand what I'm saying? Like you could be contractually hired to do an appearance here, an appearance there, whatever. But you have a sad mistaken identity when it comes to a brand. You are not on store shelves. You are not, you understand what I'm saying? So, and if you really want to go into depth about it, all these social media sites own your content. You understand? If you ain't smart and you ain't putting every last one of my videos when I do them, including this one, this live, it will go to my cloud storage. So always have a copy of it so I can retain ownership. Not only ownership, so I can retain leasing. You understand what I'm saying? Which I know the sequence to go through that. So meaning if anybody wants to rebroadcast my material somewhere in the future or whatever, you have to pay for that. You understand? I'm setting up things I already know. So I say to you like this, and I end this. Whoever put out Isaiah Rashad, and if you guys are just tuning in, somebody leaked 2 videos of him. One where he's giving a man fellatio, and another one where 2 Latin men are giving him fellatio simultaneously at the same time. No, for the record, again, I have not seen the video. The video has been removed by Twitter. I didn't want to see the video either way it go. You understand? Like most other people. It's none of my business for one, two. That's just not what I'm into. So, no disrespect to you, Isaiah Rashad or whatever. Dude, you have the option in this beautiful country to be whatever sexuality you want to be. I'm not going to take that away from you. Just like I wouldn't want nobody to take my rights away from me. What people don't have the right to do, though, is to privy and dig into your business and actually put you out there like that. If the segue to the story that we think so far is true, which is somebody leaked it, instead of vice versa, you actually leaked the tape on your own because in fear that somebody might out you. You know what I mean? Which is a high possibility. So, first of all, I want to say shout to this guy. Please hit that thumbs up. Thank you very much. Yeah, please hit that thumbs up button if y'all would. Por favor, and tú sabes. Ahora. Please hit that like button. I say this, man. You guys have got to start coming head to head with these guys that are online nowadays that have nothing but wreaking destruction and havoc to everyone that comes in their path. They happen to look just like them. There's something wrong with people like that will sacrifice and try to destroy their own, especially people that are trying to excel out of the, like, if you come from these neighborhoods, you know what it's like. You understand what I'm saying? If you come from these rough neighborhoods, especially out in California, you already know what it's like. Envy is definitely one, Sam Cooke, but you know what it's like. You understand what I'm saying? So when somebody gets up out of there, you should be able to be like, all right, can you show me the formula? Can you get with me? Let me know what's going on, whatever. And I'll show that loyalty to you and never, put you in a situation with the media, whatever. People don't have loyalty to one another anymore. And I had to find that out the hard way. I was one of the most loyal people. And I hate to say this, and I don't like bringing them up, but I feel like I was one of the most loyal people to the company I was with, which was Bad Boy, right? I thought I was one of the most loyal people. I spent my own money at first. We wasn't getting paid at first. You know what I'm saying? So I was spending my own money coming down from Connecticut to New York to the offices. I was spending my own money on Metro cards, whatever the case may be. I would have to pay people sometimes to have a place to stay because my uncle had passed on, other family members had passed on. So you know what I'm saying? I had to make my way, and it was hard. It was real hard, and there was sometimes that I wasn't there because I couldn't afford to be there. But the majority of the time while I could be there, I was there. You understand what I'm saying? But yo, man, if I ain't getting no paper at the time, I'll be here when I be here. You know what I mean? So call it what you want to. But yeah, I put in a lot of work, a lot of effort. I can't let nobody tear that down, all that work that I put in or whatever, just because of the way you feel or you think I'm a sacrifice, like a lot of people do on my thing. Y'all don't know the depth of just harassment I go through. Emails, people have found my other social media accounts. I guess they're trying to see if there's some indiscrepancies. Now, ain't no indiscrepancies. I'm 110%. I come from a time of dudes where if you was doing something, you had to do that, and you had to do it the way you say you was doing it, or those dudes would chastise you and hold you at a court for not doing what you said you was going to do. Now, I don't know what you guys come from. A lot of y'all have parents that come from that or whatever, but maybe your parents didn't have no loyalty towards nothing either. So that's why you the way you are, or your parent in most cases, which is your mama. You understand? Well, listen, we ain't believing your mama either. You understand? We ain't like your mama. She was a cantankerous MFer back then. And she is one now, all grown up. And she raised you, which would explain a lot of the behavior that you do online. Hey, girl. So what I got to ask is, should we be calling the person that leaked this video the actual FAG, or should we be calling Isaiah Rashad a FAG? Because that's what these women and a lot of these dudes is doing. which a lot of these dudes, based on the tone that you sitting around and you giggling with a whole bunch of women, I gotta ask some questions about your sexuality. Any man that want to sit around and giggle with women, y'all ever notice that there's a lot of men online? If y'all want to talk about this LBGT thing, have you noticed that some of the profound personalities that are out there that are men are now men bloggers that are part of the LBGT community as far as representation of Black and Latin men? There's a whole bunch of it. You understand what I'm saying? And when it comes to the women, they always pick a big woman now. You understand? It's no small women. I saw Esses Atkins earlier today. I almost didn't recognize her with the braids. Pretty girl. They had her sitting next to, what's that girl's name? Big Lonnie. I forgot what her name is. Lonnie Love or whatever her name is, or whatever. And this woman's huge. And they had her in this little, and I'm not joking. I'm just saying she's a big woman. And they had her in this little skin tight, silly looking dress sitting there. And she's just all the whole time. She looked like she looked crazy. And I'm like, why would you like have this bohemian woman next to these two skinny people? And they think because somebody wants to see that. Like, and I'm not saying it like that. I'm saying it in the scope that, you know what I mean? Like, she was put there for a reason. And just like I think a lot of these men that are in the LBGT community have been pitted with the thing of gossiping. You understand what I'm saying? They are the gossip outlets. It's either a big Black woman or a big Spanish woman, or it's either a gay, skinny Black dude. And they the forefronts, or a Latin skinny dude, and they the forefronts of giving interviews. You understand? I can name a whole bunch of them. Some of them that are interviewing superstars right now. I'm not going to do that, but there's a whole bunch of them. Even Charlemagne, he teeters the line sometimes between like the thing they did with the video, and you was dressed up as a woman in a different outfit. Homie, I wasn't feeling that. I don't hate you. I wasn't feeling that. Me and you didn't argue before. This is a fact. I got a screenshot and all that, B. You know what I'm saying? I dare you to argue about that. You don't argue with me 3 separate times. Remember the one time you argued with me about Muhammad Ali on Instagram? You know what I'm saying? You were saying he was dead before he was even dead. That's a fact. You know what I mean? I don't lie. Talib Kweli, I got into it with him and his sentimental, like, I don't like that dude. You know, anybody know Talib Kweli, please tell him I don't like him. This is the same dude that you had your little punk ass tribe of fake followers come after, whatever. I know you over at Uprocks now, but MFU, dude. I don't like you. I ain't never gonna like you. Your music trash. The only song you ever had that really resonated with me was Get By, and that was it. Other than that, man, shout out to Most Def, man. But you, man, like, you in my sucker book for the rest of your life. You understand what I'm saying? And only you and I know what I'm talking about. But I still got that too, Playboy. I had to comment that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, motherfucker Talib Kweli. For real, fact. Like, I got a personal beef with him. I don't want to fight him. I don't want to, bust at him or nothing like that. I just don't like you. Well, you a sucker. You know what I'm saying? That's from a personal standpoint. I look this camera right in the face and dare you to say something. I'll upload that footage right now. That's a sucker dude, man. You know what I'm saying? Tell him P said it, man. You a sucker. You know what I mean? Because I'll always remember that moment when I reached out and the response he gave. It wasn't the same personality that you see on camera. The response he gave me was that of a street dude from Brooklyn. You understand what I'm saying? And trying to be a tough guy at that. You're not tough, B. You're not tough. So stop acting tough. Like, it was no reason for you to act tough like that. But anyway, long story short, forget Talib Kweli. Not forget Charlemagne. I like Charlemagne. But Charlemagne is a personality that's deemed to be reckoned with. I used to be crazy about Mos Def. Whatever happened to Mos Def? Mos Def still does music. He goes by Usain Bey now. So if you guys are looking up him, look up Usain Bey. I think it's spelled Y-A-S, Usain Bey. I think it's Y-A-S-I-M. Yeah, Yasin Bey. Yasinbey. That's right. Usain Bey. Look up his music like that. That's who he goes by now. He had gotten into a little pickle out in Africa, and he came back from Africa because he was stuck over in Africa for a minute. And he had came back from Africa after they had let him back in the country. Something had to do with his visa, nothing big. And he was able to come back into the country via France and finally get him back here or whatever. But shout out to him. Yeah, shout out to definitely him. All right, guys, I'm going to get up on off of here. I just wanted to talk about Isaiah Rashad real quick. I don't think that this man should have been attacked the way he was attacked, and that's all I got to say, man. I love Mos Def too, man. My homie says, shine your light on the world. Shine your light on the world. my Umi says. If y'all know what Umi means, that's Muslim for mother. Umi. You know what I mean? I was with a Muslim woman for 7 years. I know. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, man, yeah, a lot of people don't know that. My ex was Muslim, born and raised Muslim. Don't talk to me about no pro-black stuff or whatever. I hate when people do that and they be like, well, what you got to understand is I used to go into people's homes and they were playing Minister Farrakhan on the radio. You know what I'm saying? I used to go to people's homes growing up and they was playing Tito Fuente on the radio, on whatever, on the stereo. You know what I'm saying? I went to people's homes and they would, like I don't know, the way I grew up is different, So I just say like this, man. Stop attacking your own. Stop attacking your own and take 5 minutes just for a couple more views. I don't have to do that. And let me be an example to you. You know what I'm saying? Let other vloggers that don't participate in the same type of behavior, let them be an example to you. And for you bigger vloggers, y'all need to start locking in on bigger stories and stop with this gossip and stuff because you're looking real. Hey, girl. $ STRINGERBELL80 at Cash App. It's also a PayPal link in the description box. Also be in a pinned comment. I will see you guys in a little bit. And thank you for tuning in as always. Especially my regulars like Antoine Queen, Sam Cook, Blessings. You know what I mean? Who else is in here? Marquise Farmer, thank you so much for tuning in. Pushing Debazi, thank you for tuning in. And everybody else to tune in or whatever. I ain't gonna go through all the names, but I just appreciate all y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all hit up that Cash App, man. Y'all coming to some gracious goods or whatever. I've got things that I gotta do or whatever. And I see some of these guys, they just yell out, ain't nobody hit up the Cash App, and that shit get filled up. I'm gonna say it one time. Ain't nobody hit up the Cash App. So hopefully that'll be in there, man. Other than that, thank y'all so much. Isaiah Rashad, keep your head up, man. Don't do nothing stupid, try to commit suicide or nothing like that, all right? Other than that, guys, I'll talk to you in a little bit.